You're listening to the RMTV podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RMTV podcast. And lads, I'm back. It's good to be back.
He's home. We missed him.
Good to have you back, man.
Oh, it's good to be back, boys. You know, European adventure and that, and 3 weeks. Holidays they go too short, but it was a fun time, boys.
Where did you go again?
So I caught my first flight. Got that successfully. I'll talk about the back end, but yeah, pretty much flew Sydney to China. That was an experience. Being a journo in China was a bit iffy, but we got through. And then went off to Istanbul. And yeah, went from Turkey, a few places in Istanbul, Cappadocia, Bodrum, Antalya. And Antalya is where I checked into the hotel, boys, and I thought I was on Belmore Road, Turkey style, right? And this is where I've got my jersey from. It's Galatasaray.
Famous club.
Famous club, which I didn't really know about. I'm like, who is this bunch? But the streets were pumping. Everyone was out and about. Flares were going off. And I was asking myself, where's Luke and where's his buddy Drum?
And where's the Wanderers supporters? That's a Wanderers thing.
I had a bit of Wanderers vibe about it, but, this team actually wins. I don't think the Wanderers get many wins these days.
No, not in compared to Galatasaray.
Yeah,
Famous club. Harry Kewell played for them. Lucas Neal played for them.
You see,
shit you learn, Presto.
Mate, the shit I learned, and I had no idea. And then I saw a guy on the street selling a few of these, got 2 of them, put them on, and I was a fan just like that. So, and then flew off went to Cyprus. That's a bit of an interesting country. So the top end of Cyprus is northern Cyprus. It's only recognised by Turkey. It's like the Turkish side. And then the bottom half of Cyprus is the Greek side, right? The Greek Cypriots. And northern Cyprus, ever since the Turks invaded it, it was so underdeveloped. They had no public transport system. We flew into northern Cyprus. I didn't know how to get around. Eventually, we got some dodgy little shuttle bus. It was some shuttle. I thought I was in Vietnam, and we were just driving across. Got to the border, and we walked through a little border. And got into Cyprus, but Cyprus was good.
So you didn't add to the population, you didn't subtract from the population, you didn't get arrested,
No,
didn't have to assert your dominance in jail?
no,
Good.
No. But no, and then off to Egypt I went, and Egypt was a bit of a blast. It was a little FIFO trip, just two nights there, and
FIFO to build the pyramids, or
I try to figure out who did it, and apparently it was the love. I think the love for the some king. If I was listening the whole time, I would have known that built the pyramids. It was alleged that it was slaves, but the tour guide said
my ancestors would very much disagree with those tour guides. That's for sure.
Yeah, and Egypt was something. It was the driving was something bipping there. When you bip here, you think, oh fuck, what's happened? All right. When they bip there, it's kind of like I'm coming through. It's like a 3-lane highway, and there's 6 cars just trying to all get on the one road.
Yeah, that's the Middle East for you.
Yeah. It was mate. It was peace in the Middle East. I'll tell you that. But went to the pyramids. I actually didn't know you could go in the pyramids.
Oh really?
Oh, they're still letting you do that? I thought they stopped it.
Yeah. And it's not Uluru. You can still go in and stuff. And
nice.
Yeah, I don't know. Went through, but it was so claustrophobic. You'd have to walk up. I don't know about you two boys, you might struggle in there, but I was struggling. I was walking up, head down like this, and people would come down as well. It was probably probably 1.5 meters, 2 meters. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, I got no hope. Screw that fat bloke coming through. Get out of my way. They can hit reverse.
Yeah, but then did the camel rides, and then we shot up to Greece, which was probably the highlight, the back end. Been to Greece twice now, and mate, Euros, Mythos.
How many Euros did you have over the trip?
Oh, I didn't have enough. I think I probably.
That's an issue.
I know. I had probably maybe 6.
Wow.
I was there for 7 days because I think the first one I had in Athens rocked me. I think downstairs it flushed me.
Was it chicken?
It was chicken.
That's why
it was the chicken.
I think the rest I went on the pork and the lamb, which was really nice on the islands. But yeah, the chicken rattled me, and then one of the ferries we went to Paros and Milos, and yeah, that was the worst seasickness. Imagine Circular Quay to Manly, but on steroids, mate. This thing was just pumping and the whole way. And
Easy way around that. Just look at the horizon. That's how you avoid the seasickness, bro.
mate, I had a beer in my hand. That didn't help. And, my head was like this, and I had the trifecta, lads. You know what the trifecta is?
What was it?
I went to the loo. So I had the gastro.
Yeah.
I was throwing up in the bag.
What's the third one?
My nose started bleeding.
Apologies to anyone who's watching this while they're trying to eat dinner as well.
Yeah, but mate, no, wrapped it up. But yeah, good to be back. Good to be back. So yeah, we'll dive into the round that was. I caught the first game of the round, Knights Eagles, as I landed. Because I'll quickly say now, I actually missed my flight home.
Silly bugger.
Yeah, probably a lack of complacency. China Southern Airlines, shout out to you. Online check-in didn't work. Went to the desk was closed. And I thought, oh, should be right, we'll just talk to someone. By the time I tried to chat to someone through Google Translate, looked up at the screen and said, gates closed. But shout out to Emirates, $1,500 later, and it was a really good flight home through Dubai. So
Wait, economy, premium economy, first class?
it was economy, but I felt it was a nice economy.
Yeah, okay. Like a premium economy sort of vibe.
The food was good on it?
The food was good. Yeah, Australian Airlines need to learn a thing or two, like especially Jetstar, but the flights across Europe, every flight you'd get a meal. Every flight had a TV on it. So, I don't know, man. Jetstar, do your thing. You get better.
I mean, look, I've gone on Jetstar once in my life, and as I said to Luke after Magic Round, it'd be the last time I ever fly with them.
You a
but
Virgin guy?
I'm a Virgin guy, but my wife's a Qantas gal. So it's really interesting because when we went to Fiji for our honeymoon, we had to go Qantas because she wanted Qantas. But I'm a big Virgin guy. I've never had an issue with them.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
yeah.
mate, I went on Jetstar today.
Yeah, you
I was
came
lucky
back?
to get home.
Yeah,
Mate,
we
as
always
much-
worry about
as
you.
much as I whinge about them, I got to be a tight ass.
They
Save
deliver,
money.
yeah.
It's the Lebo in you, isn't it?
That's it.
All right, well, let's so for this episode, yeah, we'll do a review of round 14. We'll touch on a few news topics. DCE gone, Meninga, Perth Bears, and we'll preview round 15.
Sounds like a plan, mate.
Yeah, sweet. So, yeah, Knights Sea Eagles, Geordie. I caught the last second of this, actually, on my phone as I landed, and all I saw was Ponga up in the air, so...
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a golden point thriller to start the round. It was actually, look, to be fair, it was a really good game. If you're a Manly fan, you're probably a bit disappointed in it losing, but can we appreciate the Mullet brothers? Fletcher Sharp, Fletcher Hunt, the Fletchers, the Mullet boys, mate, they killed it. 3 tries between them. Fletcher Hunt on the wing, mate, he's been incredible for a team that's about to get Dom Young back. So I don't know where Dom Young fits into that team with Sheila, Marzu, and Fletcher Hunt. But, mate, yeah, they've been incredible, those guys out there. Contested the high ball. You know, Benny said it a lot this year, so have I. Actually, to be fair, we all have. Go up for the high ball, and it gives you opportunities. And that's how Fletcher got one of his tries. Fletcher Hunt got one of his tries. But probably my favourite moment of this game, and it's the bluesman in me. Twice on kick chases, Ola Kawatu buried Ponga in the dirt, and it just made me happy. Like, these were not soft hits. He lined him up, went, screw you, bang, and just absolutely smashed him. And look, mate, it was incredible. Look, great fight back from the Knights. It's their biggest comeback since 2010. So very big from them. Really just a great game of football to start the round.
Well, I liked how, is it James Schiller?
Sheila, yeah.
Mate, he copped in the first half. And the second half, he just turned the game around. I think they changed his position.
Yeah.
And I think he was the one that copped the threat, wasn't he? On
Yeah.
Instagram?
Yeah, so don't ever be like this, dickhead. Like saying...
There's a few of them around these days.
There's a lot of them. And look, like, you know, I know you like a bit of a multi here and there on Sportsbet, mate.
Yeah.
Like, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
But, mate, if you're going to complain and say that I'm going to kill you and use the C word at a player, go jump off a cliff, man, because that was so wrong. Like, I felt so sorry for James Schiller. Like, you know, yeah, he made some errors and that, but shit happens, mate.
I think the thing with these DM warriors, it's either Sportsbet's paying or Centrelink's paying. So they got to take it out on someone, you know.
Oh, mate. Like, actually, there's one that I saw about actually Gussie, and it was like, took you out of my fantasy team, and he literally replied back with a photo of him with the Wally Lewis medal going,
That, yeah.
yeah, don't worry, bro, you weren't in mine either.
Yeah, Gussie's he's been on fire lately. He is calling him out.
I reckon the wife's maybe helping him. She's just like, hey, get him with this one, get him with this one. But there's a bit of controversy that came out of the game. Now, not so much the result or anything like that. Adam O'Brien.
AOB.
Look, obviously there was a lot of booing to the Knights players because, they were down 16-0. And they got booed off the field. And it's not the first time we've seen it in the NRL. If you're a West Tigers fan, you've probably done it many a time, especially at that game at Leichhardt where they got booed off. Actually, that was a game after Tommy Radonicus died. Yeah. But, yeah, so, look, the Newcastle fans, the Novocastrians, we spoke about this before, they turn out in numbers every single week. And credit to them because even when they're playing crap, they get numbers there. O'Brien called them out, said they're not real rugby league fans, put them on blast. I think he was trying to protect the players, but also I think he's done the wrong thing. Like, for those fans that sit there week in, week out, they deserve their opinion. And O'Brien has backtracked on that, but I don't know, what are your boys' thoughts on it? Have you seen much, heard much?
Yeah, I was going to agree with you. Like, I'm on the fence about it, like we spoke about earlier. It's two ways about it. Newcastle, no matter how they're going on the ladder, they always turn up in numbers. And it was wrong what he said, but at the same time, like Jordan said, he's defending the players, and we saw over a social media post, our message, which is why he got defensive. So I'm about both sides with it.
I think they won the game, so maybe if you didn't say much, could have just been put to bed. But yeah, Newcastle, they're passionate fans and they took it to heart. And I think it was right by him to apologise. That's the way I see it.
I think I also think it was a very smart thing for him to do to apologise because there's no lies that we all know he's on the chopping block potentially soon. Like, that's been reported multiple times. Getting that win, but, mate, getting the fans offside for a club like Newcastle that... Look, Newcastle's had struggles in the local area over the last few years to get those players that want to play for them. They're finally getting that community and that connection back with the local Newcastle Rugby League community. So to embarrass them and talk down to them like that with the support they have wasn't a good idea. But, yeah, good to see that he did apologise for it because I think, straight after the game, everyone's a bit in the heat of the moment. You're a bit amped up and he wants to protect a very young side. So...
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that fall out if that continues to be an issue.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if us Chookies beat Nui significantly this week, he might be out the door. So,
look, that's why I'm glad Newcastle won because normally people like to sack their coach a week before they play the Roosters, and then they come out and play really well because we got the interim coaching, we got to play well. So thank you Newcastle for not sacking him. However, if you sack him this week, I will be pissed off and I will leave a very rude letter on the doorstep at McDonald Jones. So please don't do that. I will write a letter.
Hey, Luke, quick question. You think this win for Nui, or most importantly Ponga, you reckon it'll boost his confidence ahead of Origin? Because he needed a win, Ponga.
It's a tough one. I personally don't think so. He hasn't been the strongest this year. And it was a good comeback, good try from him, but I don't think it will give him the confidence to boost it. Yeah. Mainly up and down as well. I think they haven't won 2 games in a row yet this year, have they?
Yeah, well, Penrith just got back-to-back wins.
Yeah,
but,
so mainly struggling too. I personally don't think so, but I hope he does. I hope he proves my word wrong and many others.
I hope he doesn't.
Yeah. All right, well, let's Melbourne and Cowboys. You were actually down in Melbourne, Lukey, for this one. Yeah. You weren't at the game, though?
No, I didn't go. 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Too early for him.
So, Geordie, mate, Cowboys 14 lost to pretty, strong Melbourne, 38.
Honestly, I'm going to give a bit of a shout out to the Cowboys. Look, they lost 38-14, and you look at that score and it looks absolutely horrible. But to be honest, I reckon they actually dominated more of this game than the scoreline says. Like, I reckon there's probably a good 55-minute period, 60 minutes, where Cowboys were actually in charge. Their brain fades hurt them, and there was this bloke. His name's Jerome Hughes. He may have won the Dahlia medal last year for being the best player in the comp, and mate, first half double, he was magic. Everything he touched turned to gold for Melbourne. A lot of errors around him, a lot of just stupid plays happening around him. And he stood up. He led that team well. Credit to the Cowboys, though. Did and gave it his all. Robson gave it his all. Scotty Drinkwater made a couple errors, but, man, he did not stop. He was popping up everywhere, and it was brilliant to see. Storm just, they took advantage of it. They done what the Storm do. They choked them. They waited for the errors. They scored off the errors, and they dominated. Stefano, I'm not going to say his last name because I'll butcher it.
And I said,
yeah, that thing. that thing.
That guy who's going to steamroll Ponga.
That guy who's going to steamroll Ponga in 10 days' time. But you could tell someone had said to him before the game, hey, you're playing Origin. Like, it was almost as if Daly called him and said, hey, Barnett's out. You're the logical choice. You're coming on the bench. Show me that you deserve it. Because he put in an absolute massive effort, mate. And, like, just his runs. There was something different about his runs on Friday night compared to the rest of the year.
He looked real strong.
Yeah, he just went to a different level, which, you know, he's going to need for Origin because he's been a bit soft this year. So we'll see how he goes. But, boys, another good win by the Storm as they sort of build towards the end of the year as always.
Yeah, it was good to see Big Nelson get over the line as well. Always good
You're
to see.
a big Nelson fan, are you?
I love him, man. Big Kiwi.
Mate,
I've
what
always loved watching
What
him.
is it with front rowers scoring this weekend? There's been a few of them, actually. It's
Big
been incredible.
Papali, yeah.
Papali'i with a double.
Oh, we'll touch on that. All right, and Dolphins, Dragons.
Dargans, thank you.
Dargans up at Suncorp. Now, yeah, I'll tell you what, Katoa, mate, he is impressing me. The shit he was doing that night, the 40-20s, and just attacking Gutho under the high ball. Mate, the Dolphins, they're just really finding some form, and they're just nipping these little wins, and I reckon they might find themselves in the 8.
I have a hot take about Katoa. He will be looked at as better than Nathan Cleary by the end of his career.
Ooh, wow.
Now,
that's a big call.
I get Cleary won the 4 premierships. Katoa's probably not going to win a premiership with the Dolphins. But just looking at Katoa where he is now compared to where Cleary was at the same age, Katoa is so far ahead of him. It's incredible. And I'm not saying that disrespectfully to Nathan. Like, Katoa is, mate, we're going to talk about the Bears later, but Katoa needs to go to a team and you build a team around him. Well, whoever gets him, if the Dolphins don't lock him up long term, you build a club around that kid.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the club, I think he'll stay at the Dolphins.
New South Wales boy, though, may want to come home.
Oh, he might head over west to Perth. So he's got a few options playing around. But, no, I thought he was cracker. And, yeah, I thought Bostock. Did you boys see that try he did? That Specky just sat on old man's shoulders and scored.
Gold Coast Suns next lifetime for him.
Yeah, but, yeah, Dragons, mate. That was some poo from them. I
They scored the first try too. I didn't think that.
Yeah, but that was all they done.
Yeah,
I think.
wow.
No, they didn't. I think.
Or maybe the second try.
I think Dragons scored a late one in the end because I watched this one.
Oh yeah, they did. No, yeah, it was later in the game.
Yeah, they went up. I thought it was a little handshake. It was a bit of a consolation try. Yeah. But yeah, don't know if Flanagan at halfback. You know, obviously switched. Maybe trying to be Cleary, but I don't think Dragons. They packed their shoulders that night. They looked a bit shit.
Honestly, Flanagan at 7. Just credit to the Dolphins. They played so well, but Flanagan's not the right guy at 7. And he proved that. Just simple things like throwing passes and like textbook thing that they teach you as a half is your hips need to be at the line. His hips are facing the sideline, so his passes are going out the whoop. And you can just see just little things like that at that level you should be getting right. So I don't think he's the right man to be in the 7 jersey. As much as he asked Daddy for it, I don't think Daddy should have given it to him.
You think he asked Daddy for Maccas after that one?
Oh, I can guarantee that Daddy
Maccas.
did not give them Maccas after that. That would have been a very bad flight home the next day, I reckon.
He was going straight to bed.
Yeah, there was no visiting the Valley on Friday night for those boys, I reckon.
Nah.
But now I'm excited to see how the Dolphins go the next couple of weeks. Like, they got a young team, and over their last 2 games, they've put some big points, like against the Doggies and Dragons.
Doggies and Dragons, 100 points in
I
total.
think it was like 44 against the Dogs, was it?
Yep,
40,
and then,
yeah.
100 points. So back-to-back games for them. And, yeah, and another big flogging was Sharks Warriors.
This one came out of nowhere, I reckon.
I think I tipped Cronulla as well. I think we all did.
I tipped the Wars.
The Wars. Well,
Yeah, I went Cronulla. I thought they were going to do it at home.
I was watching this one and I just missed it because last minute I thought, you know what? I'm going to put a little bit of coin on Warriors. They're paying $2.90. $2.90 the Wars. Didn't go on it. I was kicking myself. But, yeah, I think Sharks, it was a close first half. And then the second half, Warriors just went, nah, we're going to turn it up a notch. And they blew them off the bar.
It was like they finally found, like, we've talked a lot about their close wins this year, the Wars. But it was like they finally found, hey, this is how we go up a gear and go to that next level, which is scary for every other team in the comp if that's true, if they've found that extra gear.
Yeah. I look, second half, 28 unanswered points. And the standout for me, mate, Metcalf, he's looking real good this year.
Each week he's getting better and better.
I reckon him and Teddy are going to be top 2. I reckon Teddy's going to get pipped by a
Dally M.
halfback for Dally M. Because when it went behind closed doors 2 weeks ago, Metcalf was actually leading. Teddy was coming second. So wouldn't be shocked to see Metcalf with the form he's in if he continues to be getting that medal at the end of the year, which is huge credit for a kid at the beginning of the year. So, and I was one of them, wrote him off and said, mate, get him out of the 7 jersey. He shouldn't be there.
I think after the loss against Canberra in Vegas, a lot of people took him out of the Supercoach team.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And, for Cronulla, I think for me, they're continuing to show that they're the yearly pretenders. I just don't know where they go from here. What do you think, Luke?
I don't know. Like, Warriors are a good team. Right now, like, they're the only team, I think, out of 2 teams that haven't had a bye yet. Right now, I feel like they're being one of the best teams in the comp. So, Cronulla, they were good in the first half, but they just let go of the second half.
Yeah.
And they're up and down. Like, I was shocked that we beat them without our Origin players.
That was a game.
To be brutally honest, I thought that was going to be a fuel for them to come back and want to put money, get over the Warriors back at home. Just lost to a very young Roosters team. Like, I genuinely thought that was going to kick him into gear. That's why I backed them. But, Fitzy's going to have to get back to that defensive mindset, I reckon.
Yeah. Talking about kicking into gear, the Broncos against the Titans in their all-black jersey.
Love that jersey.
It was very nice. Jordan, what'd you take out of that, dude? 44-14.
Before I talk about the game, I'm going to point something out. And Benny pointed it out, and I kind of did notice it. One thing I appreciated from the Broncos, obviously, wearing those black jerseys for the Black Dog Institute. Brilliant fun, brilliant charity to follow. Does a lot of great work for men's mental health and mental health in general. There were 2 players on the Broncos team who didn't wear black boots. Ezra Mam and Reece Walsh. So to those 2, pull your heads out of your asses. Your whole team got the memo and wore black boots, and I'm going to presume it's to match your uniform. You 2 wanted to be flashy in your pink shit. Blow yourselves up, because that actually pissed me off, because I thought that was really disrespectful. But I don't think that scoreline was because the Donkeys were good. It was the worst Titans performance of the year, and Titans fans have even said that. I'm going to blow the bunker up a bit, though. Katoni Staggs.
Blow it up.
Fuck. Mate, goes up for a catch, comes down, ball comes out of his hand, rolls down, he pushes it down with his wrist. Against South.
How's that a try?
Mate, the bunker's gone back and looked at Izzy Kelly's try from State of Origin to see that it didn't touch the ground. Okay, you want to do that. Rob Toyer against South had a ball just come out of his hands, kept his fingertips on it and put it down, but they said because he didn't regather it. This thing has come out of his hand, rolled down his wrist, and he's done that to score it. He's got his hand flat. It's come off his wrist. There is no way that's a try. And you wonder why fans get the shits every week because of stuff like that. Double standards.
Yeah.
And, it's just not okay. You shouldn't be missing that stuff. In saying that, the Titans still sucked. Shibasaki and Staggs, man, those 2, especially in the first half, they just cut through the Titans. It was really disappointing from the Titans. I backed them because I thought they were going to stand up. But Reece Walsh, mid-season form, he already kicked a ball out on the full, so wearing the pink flashy boots obviously didn't help him at all because he kicked it straight out, so sucked in. You can tell my love for Walsh and Mam, and the Broncos in general. I think any other team that's not the Titans probably get up on the weekend because I don't think the Broncos were that impressive. In spots they were, but I think the Titans were that bad. That's what put the Broncos in that position, and it was a big game for the Broncos as well.
Do you think, Lukey, this takes a bit of pressure off Madge? Obviously there was a bit of whispers in the media, all the noise about him. I think not having the dressing shed or being too much involved and all that.
Yeah, training him too hard.
I think it does. Like, after that Manly game, he didn't let cameras in the sheds.
Yeah.
And that performance on Friday, personally, I feel like they had a big win. And Gold Coast haven't been the best team this year. But even with on a Saturday night, 40,000, just under 40,000 people they got. Like, that's a big shout.
That's a Broncos game. You're always going to get 40,000. Respectfully, that is one thing they're good.
You're not going to get a drum there unless Luka Budzam.
No. You're going to get the drum there, but the moment they start to lose, then they'll complain about it and stop you from banging it.
Welcome to Brisbane.
Yeah. All right. Raiders Bunnies. So I'll watch this one. This was a great game.
Oh, it was a great game to watch.
I'm loving the Raiders at the moment. I'm loving Ricky. Papa had his most games played for Canberra.
Yep.
So no, it was a good game, and to be fair, Bunnies started strong. They were up 12-0.
Yeah, they did. And I was surprised that Raiders came back. Strange scored the first few tries, didn't he?
Yeah, solo efforts.
Yeah.
So, but I think the week before, though, a bit of deja vu for him because weren't the Chooks up about 12 something nil, and then we
Yeah.
blew it. So
Well, to be fair though, I that second half from the Raiders looked like they had a rocket up their butts. Like obviously Strange, done some work right before halftime to get over, but that Raiders team in the second half are incredible.
Strange had a solid hit out in the second half.
Oh yeah.
And I think, they scored their first try 2 minutes before half time. And, yeah, they turned it on. But the moment of the game for me, boys, you got to agree. Papa gets his 2 tries and then converts the second one. And then Ricky's just on the sideline, mate, tearing up. Oh, it's rugby league, mate. It's rugby league.
I knew you'd love it. I thought of you straight away. When I saw
I
Ricky
watched it
trying,
a few times.
You know what? I'm in the game. That's probably the best moment. But the other moment out of that game, it was actually in the press conference, it was in the post-match presser, and Ricky said he was naming, Mal Meninga, Laurie Daly, those sort of guys that are players for Raiders. He goes, Papa Leahy's with those guys. Like, he's basically saying if I had a Mount Rushmore for the Raiders, and Ricky, to be fair, would probably be on that Mount Rushmore for Canberra for what he'd done down there, but he's saying Paps deserves to be on there, and, mate, that's probably the biggest respect you'll ever get.
Big accolade, yeah.
I reckon the big stadium, get a statue outside of Big Papa with a big mullet. Perfect outside
Mate,
GIO.
to be honest, I rate that because, to be fair, I think this will probably be his last year. He's getting a bit old, and that's not having a shot. He's getting a bit old. He's, by the end of the year, he's going to be at 330-odd games. Like, this could be it for him.
Yeah, I think they're really going to try and push for a premiership this year.
Yeah, send him out right.
And the other thing I noticed, obviously South's lost, which is always great.
Winning.
They weren't in their usual kit. They were in their 90s heritage kit. Did you see it, lads?
I saw something saying it looks like a 7-Eleven uniform.
No, that was what I thought. I turned the game on, and even my wife was like, is that South? I'm like, yeah, they look like they should be serving Slurpees.
Because they had the stripe here and then across, because I was going to ask you if you've rated it, but...
No, I personally didn't rate it.
Look, to be fair, one thing I will say about South is their home jersey is iconic. And I like it. It's a good set. That it's done well, the Cardinal and Myrtle. I don't think they need to change it. I think what they've got now is perfect. It's something they've always played in.
It's similar to us Chooks. Our home jersey, I think, will stay the same forever.
Yeah, and there's no need to change it. Like, I have this argument with a lot of people who are like, oh, we need a new jersey. We need a new... No, it's iconic. Why change it?
Yeah.
I think, South St. George and Roosters always been iconic. I reckon keep it that way.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, and now at Combank for my game of the round, Tigers with Law up against his old club, Penrith. 18-14, and look, this one, I tell you what, boys, Adam Dewey would have been kicking himself because if he got those 2 points, it would have been 18-all and would be going into Golden Point. Tigers threw everything at him. I think Cleary once again stood up and just kicked them to death. And just right at the back end, they were just getting drowned, weren't they?
How good was Luai's physicality, though? Like, massive hit on Cleary, like, absolutely crunched him. Yeah, twice. But then got his replacement in Talangi, just absolutely munched him as well. And I'll tell you what, we'll talk about that penalty later, but he absolutely munched him perfectly. Like, there was not an issue with that. That was brilliant.
Yeah, I think the standout for Penrith, though, had to be Thomas Jenkins. He scored all 3 tries for Penrith on that left side. Just got through, what's his name? Taruva.
Yeah.
The old Panther himself, but great game, boys. But I think Tigers versus Penrith again within the next month, so I'm sure they'll be...
Hopefully they get a bigger crowd.
Yeah, like that, I did write that down, actually. It was a bit disappointing, like 17K on a beautiful Sunday in Sydney's West, 2 Western Sydney teams, they get 17,000. Like, what's going on?
I think Panthers fans have gone back to the woodworks.
Well, no, I was gonna agree with you 100%. I think it's Panthers fans just don't want to travel, and we've seen that every game they play there. Even against Parramatta, they barely cracked 20,000. Like, I just don't think they want to travel. They're being lazy. Support your team. Get off your ass and get there.
It's only half an hour down the M4. Look, we all live outside the east, and we travel to see our team play.
Northmead, Toongabbie, Guy Mia, and we always make sure we're at every Roosters game. Every home game, and we try and beat as many away games as we can. No excuses.
Fuel's not cheap,
Wouldn't know. I've got a work car. I don't pay for it.
Well, exactly. I mean, if you're out in Penrith, mate, that 30-minute drive down to Para, you could really hit the pocket,
Yeah, but is that because they're sniffing it, or what's the go? What's the go there?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You're gonna have to talk to the folks out in Penrith, mate. But
They're gonna change payday, I think.
I know a few of them, and They're at least good ones, but, you know.
I mean, you're jotting, mate. You fill up at the server. You never have a little sniff. Just
Nah, mate, no. I just pull out the work credit card and go, all right, you pay for this. I'm getting out of here as quick as I can.
Lucky you, mate. But I mean, for Penrith, first time this year getting back-to-back wins. Could this be, what's needed to find some consistency for the Riff? You know, are they gonna start crawling their way back into the 8
I personally think it's too late still. It was good to see
halfway through the season?
Their performance against the Tigers, I don't think they played that good.
Do you think like us Chooks would beat Penrith on Sunday?
100%.
Yeah.
They didn't show up, in my opinion.
Like, I disagree that it's too late for them because, I mean, if you look at the ladder, theoretically, you know, Gold Coast and Para are both last and they're on 10 points.
They could still make it.
They are 2 wins out of being in the top 8 bar, like, point differential. I think there's a possibility. I think Penrith need to fix themselves because the performance that they put in on the weekend against West will not win them a game against Melbourne, the Dogs. Like, you know, Penrith are playing the Dogs, I think, in 3 weeks out after Origin 3 or maybe
game.
The
4
Thursday
weeks.
night game, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't think Penrith are going to beat the Dogs, Storm, Raiders. Like, there's a lot of good teams in the comp at the moment that are playing brilliant football. And I just don't think they're good enough. And I think that's why they'll miss the 8.
Yeah. I think they'll make a late charge, but yeah, I'm thinking like that 7th to 10th mark for Penrith.
Well, the for and against is going to hurt them at the moment because it's not that good. It's not that pretty. They've had 2 good wins and the rest have been just like 4 points or such.
Yeah.
And with Origin here and all that, players missing, it's going to be a real contest for them.
We'll see how they go post Origin, but you know, hopefully no 5-peat. We don't want to see that.
Oh, mate, 5-peat's not happening. I'll tell you that now. They don't have enough to beat the top 4 teams at the moment.
No. And today, Monday, you went to a call, mate, and biggest crowd of the round, 59,000.
Yeah, just under 60,000 people.
And Doggies over the Eels, 30-12. Tell you what, I watched it and I thought, Para, they gave it a red hot crack. I just think probably the last 15, they just slipped away.
They started off strong, and I'll give it to them. Their defense was really good, even in the second half. But one player that stood out for me for the Dogs was Matt Burden. The Bulldogs wouldn't be where they are today if it wasn't for Matt Burden. His kicking game, as always, perfection. For halfback, he made 176 meters. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but for a halfback, that's a lot. He played really good. And Parramatta, they, like you said, they did good, defended good, but Lomax, he made some stupid errors.
Yeah.
I don't know if Origin's on his mind too much. Will Pinasini on the wing, he let 3 tries in, and that was a big change
Big
for
moment.
Para.
I think they had their opportunities, but I think, a few errors.
To be fair, though, if we're talking about the meters that Matt Burton made, Riley Smith should get a credit for 60 of them for that dumb pass out of the scrum that Burton ran 60 meters to score from. So let's take 60 off there because Riley Smith handed them to him.
I'll give it to Riley Smith. He made 58 tackles and he only played like 66 minutes. So for a hooker, like really good from him.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what they were doing most of the game was defending. That's why he made so many tackles. It just, they, like you said, they were in the game for so long. They just couldn't hold out. Like Lomax, to his credit, look, made a great intercept on one. He tried to do it 2 or 3 more times and just couldn't get his hand on it. But yeah, Para just ran out of gas, I think, like you said.
One thing that pissed me off about Para, they're fans, mate. I stay in the away bay with my cousin.
Yeah.
Now, that wasn't an away bay. There was more Bulldogs fans in the away bay. And I was telling you guys in our group chat, 80% at least were Doggies fans.
Do you think Para were just too scared to rock up?
Mate, look, turn up. Even if you're not going the best on the ladder, we turn up rain, hail, or shine, first place or 16th.
I'll give it to the Dogs fan. Like, I think, it started raining just before the game, and I thought, it might, still be a great crowd, but not. It could have been bigger, if it was sunny. But I'll tell you what, if Para fans, if 10, 20K of Para fans turned up, there's 80,000 right there.
Yeah, and they had a $10 ticket special, over the week. So,
mate,
lots got through that.
Gus Gould doing anything he can to get more fans in there.
That's it.
But credit to the Dogs. I don't know if that number will officially. I think they need to hit 65. But a lot's been made about the AFL NRL debate, right? And the AFL has always had a stranglehold in Sydney. The Swans get nearly 40,000 every week to SCG to watch them play.
Well, not GWS.
Not GWS, but they're shit. And they play in Canberra anyway, so they're the Canberra-Sydney Giants
and
anyway.
I think there's rumours, just quietly. I think this is a bit of AFL chat. We'll leave it minimal. I think they might get called Canberra Giants soon.
Well, a lot of people already call them that because they play better at Meninga than they do at Energy Stadium. But the Swans have always had a stranglehold on numbers, but the Dogs are actually about to overtake them. So I think they need one more really big, like 45,000 to do it to get the average up. But could happen.
One thing I was going to say, it's good to see the Dogs fans coming out, but let's be real. Lots of them, they come out of the woodworks, and I saw that with my eyes today. I've watched rugby league like the past 25 years, whatever.
Yep.
That kick-out sin bin. Most of them are saying, nah. My opinion, I think that was a fair and square sin bin. I'm not a big fan of Mitchell Moses. I'm not a big fan of Para. But at the end of the day, I think it was the right call by the bunker and Sado.
I agree. I genuinely agree. Like, Moses milked it a little bit, as any halfback
As he always does.
Yeah, as he always does, because he's a bloody bitch. But... mate, at the end of the day, you can't... He hasn't even tried to charge that ball down. He's just gone straight in to make contact. He hasn't tried to make a proper tackle and wrap him. You got to go to the bin for that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think, I was listening to this part on Triple M, and, I think, like, James Graham, a bit of Dogs bias about it.
I was going to say,
he
Dogs
was blowing
bias.
up, saying there's Hollywood written all over Moses and stuff. But, if Kickout did what he did, then I guess rightfully so it was in the bin.
I mean, guys have been suspended for less. Like, Harry Grant nearly got suspended for less contact than Kickout made. So you can't say it hasn't been around for a bit now.
Yeah, and Moses put a high tackle in the last minute of the game. I was like shitting. I was like, is that the end for his game 2? But I think he's all right.
Mate,
I'll let him off.
If he even gets fined for that, that's a load of shit. It was a collarbone tackle. Like, shouldn't have been on report even, I don't think. Penalty at most.
Bad, yeah.
Penalty at most.
Well, it was
that's
like a
it.
load of shit when Luai tackled Blaze Tulagi.
Yeah, but, pen ref. There's a reason we call them pen ref here, mate. I know you've been away for a while, but it's pen ref.
Yeah, mate, I know they're called pen ref. But do you think maybe Dogs might crack that average crowd attendance for the Dogs pen ref game? It isn't a Thursday night,
I was going to say, if they had the Origin players playing in the game that we're going to talk about a bit later, the Souths game, I reckon they'd crack it for that game. Bulldogs Souths, big game, but they've put it on the worst round.
I don't know if it'll be a Good Friday level of like that amount. I think it's helped. Like 2 games being on public holidays are huge for them.
Oh, massive.
And public holiday people turn out Good Friday, Easter, long weekend, Monday. But I think they'll crack it and beat it. But I think the woodwork fans and the actual diehards who have been there every week will stay around and they'll be there for that game anyway.
We've forgotten about one thing though. Lachlan Galvin. We haven't mentioned him once.
I was intentionally trying to get through because I don't want to mention him because every time I think of him, I think of Dumb and Dumber and Jim Carrey and that stupid haircut he has.
Mate, that's all the talk was about today. Galvin. And like, good on him. He's got over the line, scored a try.
How about this? If the Dogs make the grand final, we'll all get a Galvin haircut.
No.
Or just Jordan.
You know the best part about Galvin playing today? He got folded once as he passed the ball, and when he got up after a tackle, Jermaine Hopgood just went smack over the back of his head. Yeah. I was pissing myself laughing. I enjoyed it that much.
I think he got the last laugh. He got that try, which he would have loved that. But
Kendall were going off.
Yeah.
The RMTV podcast is brought to you by FDS Eyewear. FDS Eyewear is your one-stop shop for quality, affordable eyewear. With the latest lens technology and weekly eye testing services, FDS Eyewear provides competitive rates over the larger optical retailers. Visit their store at Wentworthville Plaza, just a short drive from Parramatta.
All right, well, we'll move on now. All right, so last week, Big Mal Meninga, the Aussie coach, he has been signed to coach the Perth Bears boys. What do you think about it?
I'm in 2 minds. I think they needed the big presence, which is Mal. He's a big name. He's an immortal. But I don't think he's actually going to succeed. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I think he's going to get some good players. He's going to get the interest of players to come over to Perth. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he's going to have long-term success over there. I think in the next 2 to 3 years, it'll be similar to Wayne Bennett. Maybe coach for 2 years and then bring someone else in. And that's not a shot at Meninga per se as a person. I think he's going to get the right staff in there. I think he's going to set the club up. But I don't think he's going to see success over there in terms of top 8 finishes and stuff like that. I just think that he's the big name they need to build the game in Perth, and that's why they've gone that way. But I think there's other people that would be more successful with building that club into a further level of quality that they need over there.
Yeah, there was talks about Waters and Brad Fittler being potential coaches last week.
The Kangaroos.
Yeah. But
I think
I don't know, like Meninga, mate. I think he's the best fit for the Bears.
yeah,
So-
I kind of think I think he's a good rep coach. Put him in the Kangaroos, Queensland. He's good, but yeah, there's something about the club coach. I just don't know. I'm a bit skeptical about it.
You got to think, right, when you're a rep coach, you're picking the best of the best. You bring them into camp. You're training with them for a couple of weeks, maybe a month at most. Like if you look at Origin over the 3 camps, it's maybe a month. And your preseason camps that you do with them. When you're doing a club, you're building your roster. You're not just building a superstar team. You've got to build a roster of 30 players, 30 contracts that are going to play. You've got to overlook, your reserve grade team to make sure they're being successful, which, from the looks of it, will obviously be a New South Wales Cup. So long flight from WA to Sydney if you want to check them out. You've got to manage your contract in terms of your salary cap, your recruitment and all that. And yes, I'll get a recruitment manager in. But a head coach has so much to worry about in his staffing that it's not just, hey, let's get a superstar coach in. I'm going to bring Cameron Smith, Jonathan Thurston in to help me coach and go for gold.
That. I think he could coach a bit like Wayne. He might have the people under him. But I think my shout would have been Sam Burgess.
Yeah.
For that. And I reckon he could have got, I think it's a 17-hour flight, Perth to London, or England, sorry. And yeah, I reckon they could have been a bit like the Raiders, get a few English boys in. It could have been what could happen at Perth. But who knows? Who knows? I think they'll be in the comp 2027.
2027. So obviously the big talk is, your Pappenhausens, your Pongers, Jerome Hughes, Katoa, all those sort of guys. So it'll be interesting.
Who do you think's going to be their first signing?
I'd like to see Paps there.
Paps?
I feel like Pappenhausen. I said it from the start. He's going to be off contract. I think it'd be good start for him. Fullback, possibly captain.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to go in a different route. I think they're going to go after reading some stuff today. I think they're going to go Ponga. Obviously, born in WA, they'll bring him over to captain the side. Rumor is Melbourne is going to be trying to lock up Pappenhausen, Jerome Hughes, Munster, and Grant long term, so that they don't leave the club because their club's built around those 4.
They'd be stupid not to. That's their spine.
They might need one of them boys. They might need a sombrero.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how much. The rumor is so Grant Anderson is supposed to be leaving the club and going to the Broncos, but the Broncos haven't even announced it yet. And Frank Panisi, head of the Storm, their CEO of football, has basically said, well, if they don't want to announce it, they don't want him. We'll keep him because, one, he's cheap, he's a great utility, same as a Tyrone Wishart. But, yeah, it'd be interesting to see who they go and who that marquee player is for them.
Yeah. I'm going to say Ponga as well. And I think if not Ponga, I know the Broncos did get a win over the weekend, but the week before that, Payne Haas's managers put all clubs on alert. Maybe Payne Haas.
He's changed that.
He's changed
his view. The manager, Payne Haas's manager, has come out and said
he
he will not leave Brisbane. We are working to do a extension with Brisbane, but I don't know where Brisbane are getting this money from. They can't afford Stags. They can't afford Cobbo. How are they going to afford Haas?
I was going to say, Broncos would be stupid if they get rid of Haas.
Oh,
even against Manly. I know Manly put 30 points on them. Haas was their best player, and
every week he played.
Even coming from Origin 4 days later, you'd be stupid to let him go. And if he ends up going to the Bears, that's a big positive for the Bears.
Haas and Carrigan, without them, the Broncos are shit. And that's being respectful. I'm not trying to shit on the rest of the Broncos squad, but everything the Broncos do is off the back of those 2. Yeah. Without those 2, they are screwed.
So maybe Carrigan or Haas, maybe one of them goes to Perth. We'll find out. But what do you think? So the Kangaroos, they could be. Mal might coach him back into this year.
No, he said that he'll finish this year, but he's done after that because it's a full-time job being the Australian coach. So yeah, one last hurrah for the Ashes.
So you were saying,
I think Fitler, he coached Lebanon in the World Cup and he did pretty well. They did all right, Lebanon.
But also, he coached the Blues and a lot of people gave him crap, but I don't think he deserved to get fired. I actually think he should still be in charge of the Blues. He's done a great job with the Blues. Yeah, he had a couple of troubling years there where they did lose 2 in a row. But other than that, he was sitting on a 55% win rate as a Blues coach, which against that Queensland squad that's been there for the last couple of years with some of those names is a respectable shout.
Yeah, and if anyone's to be a coach, I personally think it's him. Do you boys remember that show, the NIL Rookie? back in
Yeah.
the day. Mate, watching Brad
think it was
Fittler
like
on
one
that,
season
mate,
of
the
it.
way he got up and all that, like, he's a coach you want to have. If you want to have someone for international coach, I think it's Brad Fittler.
100%, yeah.
I don't mind Freddie. I think he's gonna get the job. He's a bit quirky, they'll get their shoes off, they'll play with the grass and stuff. But
Also, when you're playing with a team of superstars, I feel like, yes, there's a lot of pressure on the coach, but also there's a bit less because you know you're going to have guys that show up and do their job week in, week out, every day when they put on that green and gold jersey.
you're not like you said, you won't have much pressure as a club coach.
Yeah.
So the players rock up, you'll be fine. That's why I think now, like with Laurie Daly, I think it'll be sweet if the players rock up on the day. I'll get the win. So
Yeah, exactly right.
we'll touch on that because today.
Well, actually, before we go into that, I do want to shout out JWH.
Oh, yep.
Whole
Big
KR
Jazz, yeah,
won the
saw that.
Challenge Cup, actually beating Sammy Burgess's Warrington 8-6. But, I love JWH, so we got to give him a bit of love. First time they've won, I think, is in like 45 years or something ridiculous. So credit to the whole KR. He's gone out at least winning one trophy. But SKD, ex-Rooster.
Good to see Skidsy there.
Yeah, Skidsy's there. He's the assistant coach of the team. But just a quick shout out to JWH for winning that because, that is a big deal over there. That's a huge competition that they run. So credit to him, man. Another trophy to finish his career with.
Yeah, 4 cups. Oh, good on him. Wherever Jazz goes, they seem to win.
Mate, premierships follow him just in different forms.
Yeah, beautiful. And all right, we'll dive into State of Origin 2 now. So the teams got dropped today, and I did a yarn on this at work. So the biggest news coming out of it, we could say 2 of the biggest news stories. Ezra in, but bigger than that, probably DCE, the captain, gone.
Both are disgraceful. Ezra doesn't deserve to be playing football this year, and I've made that clear in my thoughts.
I can't believe it.
But I understand that he's not going to play, and there's a lot of people going, oh, but he might not play. If that man is the 18th man for the game and he comes on, I hope someone does to him what Suoli done to Walsh, because he does not deserve to be there. He does not deserve representative honours after what he done earlier this year. And, yeah, I won't say much more on that.
October last year, yeah.
Yeah, October last year. But he just doesn't deserve to be there, and Reece Walsh can defend him all he wants. But to sack your captain and your halfback because your forwards were shit and didn't get the job done is absolutely disgraceful. And it's proof that all the shit that Queenslanders sling at us New South Welshmen about pick and stick, and I know your feelings around this, Luke, so I'm not going to attack you on it, but it's absolutely disgraceful to flick your captain like that. Your forwards didn't get the job done. Don't blame your halfback.
You're the Queenslander, Luke. Take it away.
I've got to agree with you. And there's a lot of Queenslanders out there that are saying the exact same things about both the players. Ezra Mam doesn't deserve it one bit. Cherry Evans, even Ricky Stewart, like one of the best coaches in the game right now, he even said he wouldn't put one of his own players to replace Cherry Evans. If you know Queensland, they're passionate, true spirit, and them getting rid of him, like Tom did, and he stepped up in game 1, but DC, one of the oldest players in Origin, most experienced, you can't drop him like that, man.
I'm going to push back on that. You said Tom Dearden stepped up in game 1. Tom Dearden came on late in the game, and a lot of people are saying the same thing, which is fine. Say it, I got no issues with you
I
saying
think he
it.
added a bit of spark.
He added a bit of spark, but it's a bit different adding a bit of spark when your team's down. You've come in, the middle forwards of the opposition are tired. You're 60 minutes into the game. The legs are lethargic. Everything's a bit harder to do compared to starting a game. Queensland now have no long kicking game. Munster's not a good long kicker. Dearden isn't either. You've got 2 running. It's actually funny. You've got 2 running halfbacks for Queensland, or halves in the halfback of 5/8 for Queensland. And New South Wales have 2 very long kicking halves. So you've got the opposite on both sides. But the disrespect to DCE is the worst thing out of this, and I hate it because it proves that everything that the Queenslanders have tried to sling over the last few years is absolute bullshit. And that they're just not showing respect to a guy who, it wasn't his fault that you guys lost game 1.
I think it was the forwards.
The forwards didn't get their job done.
What do you think, Luke? Obviously, we would love to see Queensland lose, but how are they going to win? Because I think now Moses and Cleary are just going to lick their lips. They're going to kick deep. Loose forwards are just going to go up in their face, and I don't know, man. What do you think?
As Billy said in a press conference today, like he's got
We're Queenslanders.
Queenslanders, mate.
We are Queenslanders.
They did it for a reason. They didn't drop him for shits and gigs. And lots of Queenslanders are like shitty about it. But 2020, same thing happened. Everyone was questioning the Queensland team. Look what they came out and did. I still I still reckon they'll level the game up and make it 1-1.
That was with DCE, don't forget.
Yeah, in 2020.
Mate, as long as they don't put Ezra Mam on, like I said, I really don't want to see him play.
I hope he plays game 3 in Sydney.
Oh, yeah. The Boos will be deafening.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and then the Blues got dropped, obviously, later tonight on Monday. Obviously, Stefano Uku-Kamanu.
Yeah. Yeah, look, no real surprises in the New South Wales team, to be honest. It was as you'd expect. Barnett obviously done his ACL, so the poor bugger's out for the year. So Stefano will come onto the bench. Max King is supposed to be getting promoted to start the game, which is, credit to Max King. He deserves it. The only real question, a lot of people have questioned Olakwatu not being in the team. The reason why is very simple. His partner's about to give birth to their second child. They had issues with the first child's birth, so he wants to be close to her. Understandable. Perth's a long flight if something goes wrong. But a lot of people are questioning why Lindsay Smith. He's done his job for Penrith, and it's an extended bench. He's not going to play. Yeah. And then Keon Kulamatangi, obviously on the extended bench as well, he's been incredible. But
I think he deserves a starting spot, in my opinion.
I would have him over Stefano, to be brutally honest. And I'm talking about a South player here, so it means something. He deserves to be on the. I wouldn't start him. I'd put him on the bench and just have him and Spencer impact in the middle of the game would be huge.
He's got a bit of Spencer in him, and he had a good game against Canberra. I thought he started strong.
He was huge. Another try for him, like front row scoring tries.
If New South Wales lost that first game, I reckon the team would be a bit different. I reckon Matt Burnham would be in Moses' replacement right now. Yeah. I think that's want to keep it safe, keep it the way they did game 1. But if it doesn't work out, I reckon Matt Burden, his kicking game, he's got one of the best kicking games in the league.
Mate, it's fine. Don't worry. We've won the last 2 games in Perth very comfortably, going for 3 in a row over there, 19 and 22.
That 3P.
The RMTV podcast is brought to you by The Legal Problem Solver. The team brings over 25 years of experience in wills, probate, estates, conveyancing, property and commercial law. Connect with The Legal Problem Solver on LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, we'll dive into Origin a lot more, I guess, next week.
Oh, yeah.
Before the game 2 in Perth. So, all right, we'll dive into round 15 now. So, to kick off the round, Cronulla Dragons at Shark Park.
This is going to be really good, man. Sharks paying $1.32, Dragons paying $3.40. I think that'll blow out a bit this week because obviously with the Dragons game, but these are always great derbies as well. Even I've gone to a couple just with mates who love them, and it's incredible to watch them. They go at it pretty hard. But I think the Sharkies, man, the two big losses in a row in terms of they should have won at least one of those games. They're going to come out firing and they're going to get up over the Dargans, I think.
Yeah, I think they will. I just want to give a quick shout out. KL Iro. Iro?
Yeah.
Mate, I know he's not going to be playing this week due to injury, but mate, he scored nine tries, 9 games in a row.
Yeah,
big shout to him.
9 games played and he scored in all 9 of them. That's a huge win.
So, without him, I think Cronulla will get up comfortably, especially after Dragons' performance last week.
I think Mulatalo's back as well this week.
Yeah, and
so that'll help.
No one out due to Origin. They haven't got anyone out.
They're not that good.
So I think they'll win 13 plus.
So you're gonna go 13 plus, and then KL. What's his name? Sorry.
No, Hero's out. He's injured.
Right. I just want to give him a quick shout out, mate. He's
Mulatalo to score, I reckon, on return.
And him giving it to the Dragons fans.
Yeah, because he couldn't give it to us.
And then Christian Tupolotto just doing these on us.
Yeah, Mulatalo versus Tuapolotu.
And then Titans versus Sea Eagles. Obviously, Titans getting spanked by the Donkeys.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this one. It's up the Gold Coast, and Titans have had a couple of good performances there, but I think Manly are going to kick back into gear. Just lost to the Knights.
DCE will be playing.
DCE will be playing, which
point to prove.
He will prove a point. So I'm going Manly 13 plus, to be honest.
Yep.
I think they're going to make it a big, big win.
Yeah, no, I got to agree there. Manly, they didn't have a good week last week, but they got that pattern win, loss. This week's a big win, I reckon.
Yeah, and I think $1.34, you jump on that. WN 13 plus. And then our boys, Chookies $1.53 up against Nui $2.52. Now I'm kicking myself, boys. I'm up at Nui, but I actually won't be at the game. I'll be at an engagement party, which will be lovely to be at. My cousin Maddie, shout out to her. She's engaged to Mark, so
congratulations.
Happy for him. But yeah, hopefully Chooks can make my night a lot sweeter. And
are we invited to the afters, after the game? We invited.
Oh,
to
mate, I can't give away too much, but we'll be down around Merriweather up in Newey.
Benny too.
Benny's going to pop. Why don't we all just go from the game to the after party in Merriweather? We'll just crash at Benny's for the night.
Yeah, hopefully we might even kick on with the Roosters boys as well if they get the win. I think. I reckon we'll go. I'm gonna go Chooks 1-12 here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the same. Chooks 1-12, but I think it's going to be a comfortable 1-12, like 10 or 12 points, and maybe a late try at Newcastle.
I'm excited to see the team list when it comes out later this week. Sam Walker, we know he played over the weekend, so see if he's in the team as well as Nafua White and Butcher. But with some Origin players out, I think we'll win. It'll be tricky like last year. Last year, you remember that Newcastle game?
Oh, don't remind me.
I met Jordan at that Newcastle game. First time we met each other.
Oh, wow.
And, mate, that game went to the siren.
I still don't know how Brandon Smith didn't get put in the bin at the end there for holding down in the tackle, but he didn't.
I remember that game.
And the Newcastle fans were booing. It was incredible.
So
I think they'll win just 1-12. They have to win. They have to.
Yeah, the young guys will step up.
I think they will. And the drums coming as well, mate?
It hasn't been approved yet.
Bloody Newcastle.
If not, we'll probably
Use my voice.
have to bring a bag, put in a bag or something.
Put in a bag.
I don't know if it'll fit.
Typical Lebo. Eh?
It's all about the little baggies.
That's it. Oh, all right. And Cowboys versus the Finns. Now, Cowboys $2.25 at home, and Dolphins $1.65. I'm gonna go Dolphins here. I think they're gonna get another win.
Look, I was in two minds about this. It's up at North Queensland. Cowboys have played really well. Dolphins, they lose Hammer, but beyond that, they don't really lose anything for Origin. Cowboys are losing Dearden and Robson. So Scotty Drinkwater's got to step up. So I'm actually going the Dolphins 1-12, coming off that big win.
You boys know I got a soft spot for the Cowboys all year, but like Jordan just said, Hammer compared to Dearden and that, I think they'll win comfortably. The Dolphins, I reckon 13+.
13+.
Patel will show them up.
Up in North Queensland, like it's usually hard, but with the Origin squad out.
Yeah, so we're back to Finnies. And Luke, mate, to close off the round, the Bunnies against the Dogs. Bunnies $2.96, Dogs $1.40.
Yeah, I'll be going to that game. Doggies for sure.
You sure this guy's not a Dogs fan? Loves going to the Dogs.
So they
game.
all sitting in the para bay.
Yeah,
so
I'll give it to you.
I'm not going to lie. I'm contemplating going to that game as well just to boo the Bunnies.
I was saying in Newcastle, so I'll go straight from Newcastle down the F3 straight to Accor
Stadium.
Stadium.
Down the F1 to the Accor. Yeah, no, they'll be
That's right. I think they'll win. I think the Doggies, Latrell will be out obviously, but Dogs have some players out. Stephen Crichton, like their best player, one of their best players out. Matt Burton, he'll be out.
Well, Burton's 18th man for Origin, so he may or may not.
I
think he will be, but still, it means Lachlan Galvin will slide into the 6 with Sexton, I reckon.
Hear about Galvin again.
He'll have a bit more game time. Galvin on that one. Yeah, I'm back in the Dogs. We all on the Dogs?
Yeah, I'm on the Dogs. It'd just be nice to watch South lose another game. Like, they're already below us on the ladder, so it'd be good to see them just slide down a bit.
Yeah. So, it'll be a good round to look forward to, and then obviously Origin next week.
Oh, gosh, yes, I can't wait for Origin. I just wanted to see us go up 2-0 so I can stick it in you.
I'll message you all at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
what you guys
crying.
say.
No worries. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. If you want to cry, like, it's okay, man. I'm here for you. I support you.
We'll get the tissues.
We'll get the VB tissues. Like, one side's Blues, one side's Queensland. It's like, sorry for your loss.
No, I think... I just don't know how Queensland will win, but who knows, man? I've always backed the Blues, but Queensland sometimes they've got the underdog.
It'll be tough.
All right, well, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And next week for episode 16, we're going to do an in-depth Origin preview and a mid-year season review of the season that is. All right, guys, from all of us here on TV.
Have a great night, guys.
See yous.